What's going on, guys? Welcome to Get It Right Saturday night. This is our Kamaru Usman versus Gilbert Burns post-fight reaction discussion to UFC 258. My goodness. I mean, the UFC does it again. And I got to start off by saying, first off, cheers. And second off, I was wrong. I was just so wrong about this one. Kamaru Usman, man, look. I thought to myself that Gilbert Burns was going to win this fight. And the reason I thought Gilbert Burns was going to win this fight, potentially, even though I said Usman was the safe bet, was because Gilbert Burns had stuff that the previous opponents didn't have, right? He has solid striking and very heavy hands, like Masvidal. But Masvidal didn't really have the time to prepare and doesn't have the ground game that Burns has. And as far as Colby goes, you know, he's got a hell of an engine. But Colby doesn't have the power in the hands that Burns does. And I watched the Colby Covington versus Usman fight, and I said to myself, man, Covington is hurting him. Covington is getting to him. So if Covington can get to him and hurt him, what's going to happen when Burns lands? I also thought to myself what would happen if Masvidal lands, but he didn't have enough of a training camp. And then I also said to myself, well, Usman is really durable, and he could also take Masvidal down. We saw what happened there. But I really thought that Gilbert Burns was the perfect storm brewing for a guy like Kamaru Usman. I've got a lot on my mind for this fight. So bear with me here. But first and foremost, this is Get It Right Saturday night, man. Cheers to you guys. Appreciate you guys being here. It's actually proper 12, believe it or not. Don't hate me for it. I got it as a gift, and I'm not going to say no to whiskey. I don't mind it. So, the crazy part to me, right, was I felt like my prediction was sort of coming true in that first round. You know, I said to myself, this guy's hands are too heavy. If it goes to the ground, he can handle himself. I just didn't see how Usman was going to be able to handle a guy with such a good ground game and also such heavy hands, right? I'm not saying Gilbert Burns has the best striking in the world, but I'm saying he's got some really heavy hands. And I said to myself, that combination might be very problematic for a guy like Kamaru Usman. I got a lot on my mind about this one. So, first round, you know, it starts out kind of the way I thought it would. I thought Burns won that first round, landed some big shots. He appeared to hurt Kamaru Usman multiple times throughout this fight, you know. Hurt, buzz, you know, potato. He did buzz him a few times in the fight. And Kamaru admitted to that in the post-fight interview. He said, look, man, this guy hits hard, and I felt like after that first round, he kind of hit me behind the ear. I was a little bit buzzed. And then something happened in the second round, right? Usman saw in the first round that his jab was very successful. For whatever reason, his jab was just absolutely on the money during the first round, and it just got better and better. In the second round, he really hurt Gilbert Burns. He hurt Gilbert Burns with a nice jab and then a right hand. And I think he gained a lot of confidence when he landed that right hand on Gilbert Burns. Hurt him. He probably said to himself, oh, I can handle this guy on the feet. I can handle this guy's power, and I can hurt him back. And in the third round, we saw what happened. He switched stances. He had the power hand now at the front, the right hand to the front with the southpaw stance. And basically dropped Burns a couple times with a jab throughout the fight, especially when he had the power hand at the front when he switched to southpaw, and was able to finish Gilbert Burns at 34 seconds into round number 3, man. Herb Dean had seen enough. He landed another nasty jab, dropped him again, and, swarmed on him, landed some nasty ground and pound, and they had to call the fight off. It was a good stoppage. Very emotional for both fighters. I mean, it looked like Kamaru was ready to explode after the fight, and as they announced his name, he was very emotional. It looked like he was going to come to tears. You could tell he had some real feelings for his friend, longtime training partner in Gilbert Burns. And same with Gilbert Burns, I mean, who after the fight, was basically sobbing like a child on the floor for a while, hunched over. Of course, I'm sure he worked his butt off to get where he got. I'm sure he was hoping he could become champion and lift himself and his family to another level. But, it just was not meant to be. Kamaru Usman, just too good. Just too freaking good. Now, I'm going to say some crazy stuff here, so bear with me. It might be the proper 12 talking here. Again, I thought Burns could win this fight, but I was going out on a limb. I said I was going out on a limb. I'm admitting I was wrong. I also said, though, my prediction, Usman is the safe bet. Put your money on Usman. But I just felt like Burns had a shot, and I was going out on a limb. I just wanted to, put a risky prediction out there. That said, after this performance tonight, I mean, who is better? This sounds ridiculous. This might sound ridiculous, and maybe this is recency bias. Who is better than Kamaru Usman? I mean, after the performance tonight, I mean, look, it looks like he's beginning to shore up the biggest hole in his game, which was his striking. And it looks like he's still got a bit of a hole there, but he's so iron-chinned, right? He's got such a hard head that even if you catch him, even if you've got the heaviest hands in the division and you catch the guy, it's not enough. It's not enough to beat this guy if you catch him with the heaviest hands in the division. So what's there left to do? I mean, the guy is only going to improve, in my opinion. I mean, he's 33 years old now. I say he's got a couple more years of improvement, perhaps, before he starts to go on a physical decline. He's only going to improve for the next couple years, man. And this guy really is, as he said in the post-fight interview, a different kind of savage. This guy has an incredible mental game, obviously physically talented. His only, I think, drawback, is his striking. It's not, the best. But even with what he's got, man, it's good enough and sharp enough that he was able to basically beat Gilbert Burns tonight with a jab. I mean, his jab is so heavy that he was able to beat Gilbert Burns with the jab tonight. And what I didn't like was that he got caught multiple times. He got caught multiple times tonight. He's going to have to shore up his defense. But that being said, I mean, just an incredible performance. Who is better? They've now got him ranked as number 5 pound for pound in the UFC. But how do you beat this guy? I mean, who beats this guy? You're going to have to knock this guy out. And I still haven't seen anyone with the power to do it. Perhaps somebody can land a big kick on his head and get him out of there. But I just don't see anybody that's going to be able to deal with this guy. I just don't see it right now in the welterweight division. I could be wrong. I mean, look, We've got Chimaev coming up, a very exciting prospect. We've got Leon Edwards, who I like very much, is also a very good striker. Seems to have some good takedown defense. I'm excited about all these matchups. But a real problem. This guy is a real problem in the division. That being said, before I turn it over to Knucklehead Nation in the chat, I'm going to ask that you guys subscribe below, hit the bell notification icon, hit the like button, show some love for the channel. By hitting the like button, you help the Facebook, or rather the YouTube algorithm, spread this video around. And also consider hitting the join button for just $5 a month. You'll become a member. You'll help me not only build this channel, but the only kickboxing promotion that matters. You'll get access to our live kickboxing events when we return. You'll also get discounts to FightersRep gear in the link below, like this FightersRep shirt. All of the proceeds go back into helping build the promotion. And you'll also get access to our monthly members-only meetings at the first of every month, where we discuss the progress of the channel. Also, before I turn it over to you guys, I got to go to Fernando Vargas Jr. That's Fernando El Feroz Vargas' son, legendary two-time champion boxer, Mexican-American. I got to go to his son's open workout today in Los Angeles at Churchill's Boxing. I put up the Spanish version of the interview today on the YouTube channel. You could definitely go check that out afterwards. I'm going to be putting up the English version tomorrow. I got footage of him training his son, Fernando Vargas dropping knowledge. I think you guys will love it. I also spoke to Manny Robles, so I'll be dropping that interview shortly. And he's going to be talking about a potential bout. Obviously it's not confirmed yet, but a potential bout between his fighter, Prince Charles Martin, and Deontay Wilder, and also an upcoming bout for his undefeated 18-0 with 18 knockouts prospect from the Ukraine, Sergey Bohachuk. You definitely want to check out the interviews. I'm going to be uploading them to the channel in the next couple days. So let's see what's going on here. JC Desmond in here. He said, bro, that was a brutal ending. Birds hurt him in the beginning, but Usman ended in such a nasty, savage way, but he was so patient. I agree, man. That was just a fantastic, intelligent performance from Usman, man. The guy's smart. The guy's sharp. The guy's strong. The guy's just a handful. Mo Barazi says, hello from Atlanta. Big shout out to Mo. Jamie 1700 said, great fight. That 5-inch reach in favor of Usman really showed. And also the utilization of the jab. I said he had to keep this fight on the outside. He could really win this fight when I made my prediction if he kept it on the outside because of that 5-inch reach. That's what happened, even though I predicted Gilbert Burns to win. By the way, Jamie, I jumped on the crypto stuff. I appreciate you recommending that to me, man. Much love to you there. JC Desmond says, that has to be some of the hardest jabs I've ever seen. I mean, that was a heavy jab. For an MMA guy, actually for anybody, but perhaps those 4-ounce gloves, have something to do with it, JC. That was a heavy jab. You're absolutely right, especially when he switched to southpaw and started putting that power hand into that jab. That thing was nasty. That jab would have made Charlo proud, says JB. Mo Barazi says, cheers. Welterweight, none. Cheers, you guys. Cheers. Let me know in the chat what you guys are sipping on. Oh, man. I look like a goofball. Let me know what you guys are sipping on. I don't know about you guys. You can't really see it in this lighting. But, man, I've gotten like 3 shades darker just having, during this pandemic, walking around my neighborhood, getting sunshine more than I'm used to. Man, you guys, I get it doesn't show in this lighting, but, man, I really been tanning or something, man. I feel like I've been going to a tanning salon just walking around here. He's definitely the best at 170, period, says JC Desmond. I agree. Listen, you guys, this guy might be one of the best MMA fighters in the world right now. I mean, don't get mad at me. I'm just telling it like it is. This guy may be one of the best MMA fighters on the planet right now. That was outrageous, that performance. What up, George, says Dr. Joseph. What's up, Dr. Joseph? Appreciate you being in here, brother. Jamie 1700 says Burns' mistake was staying on his back on the floor when he had Usman hurt early in the first. He had him hurt, wobbled. He allowed him to recover. Perhaps, but I think it's easier said than done than to get up from that position. I'll say that. Absolutely undisputed, says Mo Barazi. Appreciate you, Mo. I agree, man. Dr. Joseph said there's no one left apart from Colby in welterweight. Well, again, let's not forget Hamza Chimaev, Leon Edwards. These are guys who deserve their shot. These are guys who definitely deserve their shot, and you never know. Hamza needs to prove himself against at least 3 from the top 5. I would like to see that, but they're going to run out of options for Usman if he keeps running through people like this. Jamie 1700 said Bitcoin, bro. You're right. Bitcoin it is, brother. Appreciate you, man. Hey, cheers to you. Cheers to you, brother. Cheers to all the investors out there, man. If you guys haven't done it during this time, during this pandemic, set some time aside to get your investments, to get your finances right, man, to invest in the right things. If you got a little bit of extra money, I definitely recommend you guys do that. Salud. Dr. Joseph H says Trevor Whitman was the man. He reminded Usman to keep composure and sticking with the jab. You're absolutely right about that, Dr. Joseph. That jab was the difference maker in this fight today. Had he not had that jab, he could have very well been knocked out today. He could have very well been knocked out today by Gilbert Burns had he not had that jab at his disposal. And it was impressive. Let's see here. If Chimaev can sleep top 5 fighters, then maybe he's the only competitive man aside from Colby. You may be right. You may be right about that. Big shout out to George Estrada, my brother, coming in with the generosity. Much love to you, man. Thank you so much for the super chat, brother. George Estrada, always a generous knucklehead from Knucklehead Nation. You guys can also click the join button below if you want to donate and help continue to build the channel. Listen, you guys, I'm also going to let you in on a little good news from my end. Even though California is not letting me do fights at all, I am continuing to grow the list of fighters on tap for the next FightersRep event. I'm hoping we can put on an event in the second half of this year, assuming this vaccine gets rolled out soon enough. And I want to say, man, we have multiple Glory kickboxing veterans, UFC, Bellator, BKFC, you name it. These guys have signed up to compete, and it's something I'm very proud of and excited about. So appreciate you guys. Join the channel, man. I'm telling you, this shit, as soon as it takes off, it's going to blow up, man. It's going to blow up, and I'm going to appreciate all you guys that were here from the beginning. Let's see here. JC Desmond says, bro, Katrina loves the t-shirt. She just received it yesterday. I love to hear that, JC, man. I appreciate you guys supporting the channel, man. Much love to you and to Katrina. Hopefully I get to see you guys soon. Dr. Joseph H says, Jamie 1700. Exactly. Cal Blundell says, did you just say Wilder versus Charles Amaton? Well, no, Cal Blundell, I hope I didn't say that. If I said Charles Amaton, then, this whiskey's really working. I meant Charles Martin, the guy who, even though he lost to Anthony Joshua, lost the title to Anthony Joshua, has looked very good as of late, knocked out Gerald Washington in his last fight. And I believe Charles Martin, if he gets in there against the Deontay Wilder at this point, having been training with Manny Robles for the past couple years, looking the way he looked against Gerald Washington, I would be hard-pressed to bet against Charles Martin looking the way he's been looking versus a Deontay Wilder coming off the devastating beating he took at the hands of Tyson Fury in his last fight with a dent in his skull and all this other stuff and talking all this gibberish. I think Charles Martin is a real threat to Deontay Wilder if they fight. And I know this because I talked to Manny Robles. Manny Robles is my guy. And I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. I mean, believe what you want to believe. But yeah, Charles Martin's he's a tough cookie, man. If he can block that right hand, which is the only thing he's going to have to worry about in that fight, he can beat the shit out of Deontay Wilder. I'll tell you that much. Dr. Joseph H. says, can't wait to see Usman and Colby go at it again. That would be a great fight, man. That first fight was awesome, and I would love to see the rematch there. Marco Martinez says, Alexa Grasso looked so good tonight. Her technical ability was far superior to the hype train of Macy Barber. Well, I won't call Macy Barber a hype train, Marco. Let's not go that far. I mean, it was a good fight, but you're right. Alexa Grasso just had superior striking, and you can see it right off the bat with how straight her punches were compared to Macy Barber's, looping kind of crazy punches. I mean, you could tell Alexa Grasso is a girl that's hard at work trying to make it to the top, and I can see her getting there, coming close. That's what's up. Congrats, George, says JV1700. Appreciate you, man. I always appreciate you, Jamie. I wish I would have listened to you sooner, brother. Dr. Joseph says Alexa's jiu-jitsu was good. That too. Mo Barazzi says Scotch Lagavulin. Hey, cheers, brother. Bastian Montero says, hola, putos. What's up, puto? How are you doing, bro? Appreciate you being in here, my brother. As we all know, Georgia Estrada is in here. And Georgie's probably throwing back some Modelo, because it's always Modelo time when George Estrada's in the chat. Dr. Joseph says, what's up to George Estrada? And Mo Barazzi says, I'm so ready. Waiting for it. Well, Mo, last time I checked, Mo Barazzi, I offered you a fight. I'm waiting on your response, brother. I offered you a fight months ago. I'm waiting on your response. If you don't like it, there are other fights that can potentially be made for you, brother. George Estrada is showing more love, man. Hey, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Cheddar323 in here, man. Hey, every Saturday night, man, we got to go live. Listen, like I told everybody before, though, be sure to tune into the channel over the next few days. I'm going to be dropping the footage I got today at Churchill's Boxing Club. I talked to Fernando Vargas, his son, Manny Robles, young fighter, Sergey Bohachuk, 18-0, 18 knockouts. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that I believe Fernando Vargas's kids have some serious star power. Like, these kids are gonna be stars. Like, maybe like one of them will reach like a Ryan Garcia or that sort of level. I mean, I really believe these kids have great personalities, good-looking kids, and they look like good fighters. I mean, the one I saw today, Fernando Jr., looks like a really good fighter. Fernando obviously has got a ton of charisma himself, and I think you guys will love the content dropping over the next few days. Let's see. I'm so ready. Wait for it. Cal Blundell retracted a message. JC Desmond says, who do you think would be a good match for Burns now? Man, maybe they feed him to Leon Edwards. I mean, the Chimaev fight didn't get made, JC, but it's probably too soon for Leon Edwards. But I think, because he's going to have to recover from the injuries he sustained in this fight. But I think it would be good to put Burns in there against Leon Edwards at this point. Or maybe a Colby Covington. Or maybe a Jorge Masvidal. I mean, there's a lot of guys that they could, throw down in there. So yeah, man. And again, George Estrada just showing some love to my boy. Appreciate you, my brother. Hey, it's not Modelo time for me right now, but it is Wiki time. Wiki. In Miami, we used to call it we. Cheers, Habib. Cheers to you, my brother, Mo Barazi. Appreciate you, man. Cheddar 323 is in here, brother. I'm glad to see you here. Thug Life. Damn, Usman burned the burn. Thug Life. Thug Life, you're not lying, bro. That was one of the most impressive performance, you guys, that I have seen in a very long time. I mean, Usman is just a tough, sturdy guy that just will not be denied. And, you know, one thing that I think people fail to take into consideration with Usman, and he's right, people must now put respect on his effing name, right? That's what he said in the post-fight interview. But one thing that people have to keep in mind when they're talking about Kamaru Usman is this was a guy who I believe was trying to wrestle in the Olympics, and the only reason he didn't get there was because of injuries. I mean, that's how high level wrestler and athlete and disciplined athlete this guy is. I mean, it's the equivalent or as close as you can come to a Henry Cejudo in the welterweight division. It's the closest you can come. I mean, because the guy's pedigree, just being even close to an Olympian, you guys, it just takes so much dedication. It's such a pedigree, and it's absolutely incredible. Big shout out to Mo Barazi, man, joining Knucklehead Nation. Much love to you, my brother. Thank you so much for joining the channel, man. Helping me continue to grow the channel, continue to grow the promotion, and hopefully you join us for a fight soon, man. If you guys don't know Mo Barazi, he's actually a fighter. I believe he's, spent a lot of time in California, moved out to Atlanta, more affordable, smarter investment, if you ask me, than sticking around here in California like I'm doing. But what are you going to do? And he's a great guy, heavyweight. And I was hoping to get him on a card against another heavyweight, actually a local heavyweight who's also got some good experience out here in Los Angeles. I'll leave the opponent's name anonymous for now. But yeah, would love to get Mo out here for a fight. So Mo, I appreciate your generosity, my man. I hope I can pay it forward to you in the form of a purse and also, maybe pay-per-view sales, ticket sales, whatever else I can do for you. Let's see here. Bastian Montero says, I'm wondering where the F is Vicente Luque. He's from my town in Chile. Very good fighter. Man, Vicente Luque is a beast, Bastian. And big shout out to Chile, man. Believe it or not, I had a next door neighbor from Chile growing up in Miami. So a lot of interaction with Chilean culture. Mo Barazi says, man, I hate saying no, but I'm losing weight. I may hold out for light heavyweight. Well, if that's the case, Mo, I'm sure we can find you somebody, brother, if you're still interested in kickboxing. Dr. Joseph H. says, can't wait for Chimaev return. Man, me neither. I must say, I really love Chimaev. He just seems like a freaking animal, the guy, and I really want to watch him compete. Let's see here. Bastian Montero says, is Chimaev injured? Actually, he's got COVID. So, and I think he may have lingering effects from COVID. As Cheddar Mo told you in the messages below. George Estrada says, LOL, it's all good, my boy. Much love to you, George. Appreciate you, man. John Gomez, good scrap. And Mo Barazi says, thanks for doing what you do. We have to keep kickboxing strong in California, man. Look, the only pro kickboxing promotion, the only one with a pro license. I love the sport. I think it's the most exciting sport in the world. I think just the way bare knuckle boxing has caught on Absolute Fire, I think if somebody promotes kickboxing, the way we do, it's going to catch on the same. Unfortunately, we didn't get to the point where during a pandemic we could continue to put on events. But I do think once it's over, you guys will see this thing catch fire, man. Our last event was massive. We sold out. The fights were incredible. It's pure striking. It's the best. I think, if you ask me, it's the best strikers in the world. There's no clinch. There's no grappling. It's just, you got to stand and bang it out. It's like boxing. Imagine boxing with kicks and knees. That's our rule set. As soon as you clinch, the referee's going to break you up, just like in boxing. You can do a one-handed clinch as long as you're working, just like in boxing. If the free hand is working, they'll let you work. But for the most part, it's just stand and bang, man. There's no stalling. There's no sweeping the other guy off his feet to take a break. None of that. You got to stand and bang it out. And let me tell you guys, it makes for the most exciting sport in combat, if you ask me. So I just hope we get some more time, or we get some time at the end of this year, a green light to be able to put these fights together. And you can watch the fights for free on the channel. We always put the fights up on the channel for free a couple, weeks or so after the event happens. Again, if you want to watch the pay-per-view live, you have to be a member of the channel, just like Mo Barazi is now. So much appreciated to you. And JC Desmond saying K1 rules. JC was a guy who was doing K1 rules down in Miami. That's where I met him, South Florida. And he was doing IKF, point kickboxing, which is, that's a great place to incubate and build the sport, and he was doing that there and introduced me to the whole IKF thing. I didn't even know anything about it until I met JC, to be honest with you guys. I was doing MMA stuff when I got started promoting after meeting JC, whose show I actually announced. So I was announcing before I got into promoting. I started with MMA because I announced a couple MMA shows, and the Amateur MMA Commission out in California was very friendly to me. They want to make money, so they're like, hey, why don't you do a show? I started doing that, but then I said, you know what? I'm a gentleman. I like a sport where guys just stand up and bang it out. And so, I went with kickboxing. That was my passion. I've also thought, you guys, of dabbling in boxing. I continue to think maybe we do a FightersRep kickboxing and then a FightersRep boxing. And, we can do both and, build both communities up. Something I'm thinking about as well, because, right here in Southern California, I got a shitload of talent as far as strikers goes. But I also, we're surrounded by boxing gyms too. Like I said, I'm friends with Manny Robles. I got to meet Fernando Vargas today. It's just so on and so forth. Bernie Hopalian's out here, he actually invited me to come out to his gym where he's at with Buddy McGirt now. So it's just, it's crazy. There's a lot of need for it. And, something I'm also looking into. I've always loved the boxing and kickboxing above MMA. But we got love for MMA too. So cheers. Cheers, cheers. By the way, if you haven't already, hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. So show some love. Show some love. Show some love to the channel, and tell me what you're drinking in the chat. Today we've got, let's let this thing focus. There it is. Proper 12 Slanche. I think that's what the Irish say, Slanche. Bastian Montero says, I'm 16 years old and I'm training like a mad dog. I want to get a license and start fighting eventually. Move up to Brazil and continue my journey. Are you in Chile right now, Bastian? I want to ask you, are you in Chile right now, or are you, in the United States, but of Chilean descent? How's that work? I figure you're in Chile right now if you're saying you want to move up to Brazil. I'm drinking a Snapple apple, says JC. Are you working, JC? Are you on the job, brother? Cheers to you, brother. Hey, Snapple's all good. Yeah, I'm from Santiago. Okay, okay. Well, big shout out to Chile. Big shout out to everybody in the chat, man. If you're in here, also tell me where you're from, man. Show some love to your country. And if you're watching this on the replay. But knuckleheads, you know, to be honest with you, I think I've said what I need to say. I mean, Kamaru Usman, you know, from one day to the next, I went from, is this guy the goods, to, damn, this guy's the goods. This guy might be the goods. This guy might be the absolute man in the sport. You know, I might go that far and say, now that Habib's gone, you know, who else? I mean, what other champion is as dominant? Broke GSP's record today? I mean, this guy's an animal. I'm on the job, brother. I wish I had a Guinness Stout. I'm sure you get one on the way out, brother. Much love to you guys. Hey, Knucklehead Nation, man. I love you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for supporting me. It means a ton. Again, tune in tomorrow. Of course, we'll drop another episode of the show. But I'll also have interviews for you guys. Like I said, Fernando Vargas. We already have the Spanish one up today. I'll put up the English one tomorrow. We'll have Manny Robles as well, talking about Charles Martin, Deontay Wilder, Sergey Bohachuk, everything else. Tune in, man. Subscribe. Appreciate you guys. You guys have a great night. Enjoy your evening. Much love to you guys, man.